विज्ञानामोता विश्लेषाभितः देवेभ्यर्मानुषे जने। Sitaram. My name is AshruthSuryanarayanan, part of the Lamke. I'm 20 years old, I'm a second year in college, and I'm here to talk about my topic, Chitta Shuddhi, discovering nature's spiritual essence through Vedic mantras. I thank everybody for giving me taking the time to listen to me today. Sarvebhyo namaskara, sabhaye namaha. So when we talk about the Vedas, we first start to talk about the subject matter of the Vedas. What is the Veda about? When we look into it, the Veda is about nature. Everywhere we see throughout the Vedas, in every mandala, in fact in the Veda Samhita, in every mandala, it's about nature in all its facets and forms. One good example is the Aranyani Sutta. Vrisharavaya Vadate Vidupamati Chichikaha. It talks about how the rain clouds make chichikaha, the chi-chi sounds, through which Aranyani herself, as if playing the veena, she is replying with it. This is one side of nature. On the other hand, there is the more deep, subtle aspects of nature. Nasadasi, Nosadasi, Tadani. The Vedas also talk about nature in its more subtlest forms. The time before creation, the time before manifestation. In this way, every aspect of nature is covered in the Vedas. And how does the Vedas talk about this nature? It talks about this nature in the form of Devatas. This Prakriti is described in the form of Devatas. For example, the Aranyani that we saw is the Devata of the forests. And Aditi, who is the presiding deity of Nasadasi and Nosadasi, is the whole Mother Nature herself. Unmanifest nature, Avyakta Prakriti. In this way, the Veda talks about all of these Devatas in their natural forms. And it worships them. Now, if we examine the Vedas even further, we are able to extract a spiritual meaning, an adhyatmika meaning for each of these adibhautika devatas. When we examine this, we further realize that these two are combined. These are pratika, these devatas are representations of the various spiritual meanings. The nature, the natural devatas that we find are representations of the various spiritual insights that we find today. This paper's goal is to examine three devatas in this manner. Look at how the insights behind them, the adhyatmika meanings behind them, have shaped Sanatana Dharma and spiritual insights in schools today. And then go further and see what it truly means to live a Vedic life. So firstly, let's start with Agni. The mantra I just started at the beginning, that itself is Agni. Yajnanam Kota, hey Agni, you are the invoker of Yajna. Vishvesham Hitaha, you are universal welfare, you are the will of universal welfare. Devebhir Manushe Jane. You approach the Devas for the Manushyas, for us, for the mortals. This Agni, in Adibhautika, in nature, represents the fire that we worship in the Yajna, the Yajna. In Adhyatmika, he represents the will of universal welfare, Vishvesham Hitaha, Athava Sukratuhu, Kratuhu, Chandaha. In this way, Kavikratuhu, in this way, Agni represents the will of the seers, the will of universal welfare. How is this will of universal welfare worshipped? There we come to the aspect of Yajna in the Vedas. Yajna, the etymological meaning of Yajna is Yajit Deva Puja, Dana Sangathikarana. There, Deva worship, Dana, giving, and Sangathikarana, bringing together. This is the etymological meaning. And when we reflect this meaning in the Vedas, we get to see even more about Yajna. How should Yajna be performed? Yajati Manva Sadhana. A Yajna is not just something that we do physically. Manva Sadhana. It must be done with meditation as it means, manna sadhana. In the same way, the Vedas go even further, showing how the yajna must be done with respect to Agni. Samit bodhi asmai, sumatim bodhi asmai, sumanam bodhi asmai. Then shucha sumatim vasva rasi, vasva mana, sumana vasva rasi. Here we are talking to Agni. Here, samit, with every samit, every stick, sumana bodhi asmai, sumatim bodhi asmai. Give me a good mind, purify my thoughts. Shucha, with every pure bhavana, with every pure action I do. Vasvara rasi, give me the mind which is free, which has stopped all the chitta vrittis. Vasu stambhi, vasvaha. In this way, yajna itself is connected with Agni. And if you go even further in the Vedas, Jiva Yajam Yajate, this is the yajna of life. What does this yajna mean in an esoteric sense? What does it mean? There we come to yajna as submitting our thoughts. Kritam, Amanisha, if you see in the Veda, Amanisha, their mental impulsions represent Krita in the Veda. Our thoughts that are like Kritam, our actions that are like submit to this will of universal welfare, growing it, nurturing it, bringing it forward. And it is through this will of universal welfare, through this yajna, that we go and communicate with all the other devatas. As the Vedas say, Yo Devanam Janimani Veda, it is through yajna that we understand the sources of the other devatas, Devanam Janimani. In this way, Agni, by dedicating one's own thoughts, one's own actions to universal welfare, working towards that universal welfare, one slowly attains Chitta Shuddhi. One slowly becomes more and more healthy, one's thoughts become more and more pure, and eventually one grows spiritual through this worship of fire, by internalizing this yajna. In fact, if you see in external nature, yajna itself is a cause of universal welfare. Shatamayam Bhupam Arada Pashim Vishuvata Para Ena Varena. There we see Ukshanam Krishna Apachanta Viraha Tani Dharmani Prathamanya Sarana. These were the prime dharmas. What were? Shakamayam Dhupam Arada Pashim, the smoke made of powder, Shakamayam Dhupam. Through that smoke, Vishuvata Parayena Varena, it pervades, throughout it purifies, it cultures the nature. Ukshanam Krishna Apachanta Viraha. In this way, the Upasakas, they are cleaning the sky. Ukshanam Krishna Apachanta Viraha. And that is the prime dharma. Ani Dharmani Prathamanya Sarana. In this way, yajna in external nature itself is the will of universal welfare. Itself is universal welfare. And as I said previously, these external natures and internal nature are connected. So, looking at these connections, we can see even further how this external yajna spurs forward the internal yajna. In this way, through this will of universal welfare, we get to progress further. Like I said, Janimani Veda, Devanam Jana, we get to progress further to the sources of these devatas. The next such devata we can see is Indra. Indra, when we see in the Veda, there are a lot of words associated with Indra. One is strength, Shabdha, Savasaha, Sahasaha. He is associated with might, Sahasaha, the tolerant power, Saha Marshak, tolerance. Sahasaha means Shakti as well, the tolerant power, Sahasaha, Shabdhaya. In this way, Indra is associated with strength. In the same way, Indra is associated with another few words. Vritram, Parvatam, Pana, Bala, Dasyu, so on and so forth. These is generally breaking these, not destroying these, not killing these, Pana, Bala, Dasyu, and so on and so forth. And again, Indra itself has an etymological meaning. Idi Parameshwar. He denotes mastery. Now, in external nature, Indra represents the thermal energy through which the clouds are broken and the water in the form of rain flows. We can see this in Yattiraha Dharukam Rajaha Atasu Atishtipaha. There basically the Rajaha, the water, the Rajaha means Udaka, the water that has been gathered from all directions. O Indra, you are breaking it, and Atasu, you are pervading it, you bring it all around to all the directions. Atasu Atishtipaha. In this way, in Adibhotika, in this natural sense, we can see Indra. Adhyatmika, when we come to esoteric meaning, the word Iparameshwari tells us what Indra is. Indra is the strength behind mastery. The mastery of thoughts and the mastery of senses. Through that strength, one advances spiritually. There we see what Vritra and Pana always mean. When we go to Vritra, as per Yasta's Nirukta, it means bring Varana, that which blocks, that which is an obstacle. Dasyu literally means thief, stealing tendencies in Adhyatmika. Pana means the materialistic tendencies. That generally Pana means those who are materialists. But you can see the Vedas that it means materialistic tendencies. In Vedic mantras we see Panehe Manisha or Rakshasam Manisha. In this way, these are the stealing tendencies, the materialistic tendencies. Kala against covering. In this way, these are the enemies of this mastery of the senses. Through one's mastery of the senses, one breaks through these coverings to further release the Gautu, the sun rays, and release the flow of water, Apaha. Here Apaha is potentials internally, and sun rays represent the rays of consciousness. In this way, Indra, with the basis of universal welfare, Vaishwanarasya, we see that mantra, Vaishwanarasya Shavasava, the strength is a strength based on universal welfare. With that strength, one can progress further in the spiritual sadhana. Through control, through strength, one can progress further in the spiritual sadhana. The two I just talked about, they are continuous in the stream throughout Sanatana. If you see in Bhagavad Gita, the very concept of yajna is mistake. Saha yajna praja srishva rovacha prajapehi anena prasavishyatvam yeshavos tushta kamadhika devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantuvaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah param avapsyatha. Here again, Krishna is talking about this yajna and how by doing this yajna, by working for this yajna, by going through this yajna, by his actions, devan bhavayatanena, internalizing these devas, bhavayatanena, te deva bhavayantuvaha, through the spiritual act of working selflessly, through karma yoga in essence. Karma yoga itself can be derived from this Vedic yajna. Through this karma yoga, continue to live your life, devote yourself selflessly. In the same way, for Indra, when you look at the restraint of the senses, I have to say that it is everywhere. The restraint of senses is in probably all darshanas and all insights of Sanatana. Everywhere we go, Yoga Sutra, Vedanta, so on and so forth, Indriya Nigraha, bringing back your senses, mastering your senses, that insight is everywhere. And that insight makes Sanatana Dharma itself unique. Every school of thought has taken Indriya Damana in a way. We see in Yoga Sutra, Tatah Parama Vashyata Indriyanam. Pratyahara itself is defined as Vashyata Indriyanam, the Vashikarana of Indriyas. In this way, this esoteric meaning of Indra also, this tantu, the string of spirituality, continues forward with Indra as well. As you go and see Agni Indra, we come to the concept of bliss. So, Pavama, the purifier, through this flow of bliss, through this flow of Ananda, Soma also makes himself known. This Ananda can be seen throughout Bhakti Sutras everywhere. Sunota Madhavattanam Soma Indraya Vajrani. He flows for this Indra, for this mastery. In this way, Soma is known. In this way, these three Devatas, they are in Adibhotva and Adhyatmika, the representations are inextricably tied together. They are bound together. And by representing these in the Vedas, one can go further spiritually. This is how to live a Vedic life. Yulamakrannam Manushyasya Shasani. There, this Veda mantra talks about how the Vedic Devatas have created a path for us. Swasti Pantha Manacharena Surya Chandrama Sadhya. By following the path set by the sun and moon, by following the path of these Devatas, may we prosper spiritually. Before I end, I want to add that this paper was done based on a Vedic commentary, Dhanidika, which examines the Vedic mantras in this fashion, looks at every Vedic mantra and spiritual meaning, spiritual connotation, and also based off of a book, Veda and Passion, which is the abridged version of this. It takes the essences of these and puts these insights forth in English. Thank you for your time. See you.